I've been the CEO, GM of this place for 14 years. Before that, I was the Professional Development Manager for the Salvation Army Training and Employment Program. Prior to that, I was the Professional Development Manager for the Institute of Internal Auditors in the United Kingdom. So I was responsible for training internal auditors in the UK. So my job was really hard. I flew between London, Paris, Dublin and Edinburgh and had an hour's meeting in each place but 2 days. Oh, the shopping. But the whole reason behind the things I've done in my career is about a passion for education and training. And I believe very strongly that to build or change a community, you actually need to develop training and education. So, a little bit about my organisation. We currently provide 120,000 hours of care in the Eastern Bay of Plenty. I have a workforce that goes between 180 to 220 people. They are predominantly part-time support workers, caring for people in their own homes. So we care for people from 0 to 102. Some of you who were at the Literacy Forum last year would have heard me talk about the fact that we deliver care on horseback. And we do pay travel, but in that case we deliver hay. That's the advantage of living in a rural community. You get to do that anyway. Organise a farm truck and deliver some hay. And one of the things that when I came into the DRC, I was very concerned about everyone talking about an unregulated workforce and using words like untrained, unskilled, unregulated, which really wound me up. Because actually it's not true. Because 99% of them have had families or done amazing stuff, but actually nobody's ever recognised that work or effort. But we bandy around unregulated because they're not on a list somewhere. So I was really committed to making sure that we would change the emphasis of training in my organisation. And I'm probably a bit of an unusual employer because I don't believe you can ask your people to do something if you haven't done it yourself. So I stand before you as a graduate of the Career Force ITO Level 2 National Certificate in Community Sports Services, the Level 3 National Certificate in Community Sports Services, and very recently, in fact a week and a half ago, the Level 4 National Certificate in Disability Information Provision. Yahoo! How about that? Fools. So, but that's actually really important. There is no point developing training in an organisation if you don't understand it. Actually, there's no point making your people do training if you don't understand what they need to understand to do it. How can you put in place policies as an employer around training if you don't get it? And I have to say, some of our policies were rubbish. And I learnt that while doing the quals. I learnt that actually some of our policies made no sense, and when you were trying to answer questions about how you should do your work, they didn't make any sense. Plus we use really cool academic terms. I work in health and disability. We are the jargon capital of the country. You know, every abbreviation known to man. You know, DRC, COPD, you name it. It's a load of hoo-ha. And actually people on the ground aren't interested in it. The best conversation I ever heard was a conversation between a funder and a client. And they talked about the phrase, people with disabilities. Now, in education, I'm sure you've had the same kind of debate. Are they disabled people? Are they a person with a disability? Are they people with disabilities? And this conversation from the funder went on for, I think, 25 minutes. And eventually the client said, my name's Mary. That's the reality of service delivery. We can have whatever fancy name you like to call it, whatever academic term you like to put on it. The truth is, it's a people service. You deal with a people service. So actually match your service to the people you're serving. It sounds complicated. It isn't really. It's called shut this, open this. Because you know what's really cool? If you're quiet long enough, people will tell you something. It's quite miraculous, that. I keep telling funders, practice it. Go out to the people and they'll go, this is what we want. Oh, oh, it's new, it's innovative. But I think it's really important in terms of the way we deliver services, the way we think about what we do. Please don't think that this is an easy fix as an employer. This is 7 years of hard labour, putting an infrastructure in place around training. This is about being the demonstration queen of the country. Any pilot will have a go. Because actually, how do you know whether something's going to work? And for us, literacy was one of those things. It was about the fact that our 200 care workers were not achieving because they did not understand what we were asking them to do. Probably my best example of that is around infection control. And infection control is most wonderful jargon-filled stuff. So I remember doing an assessment with a support worker, and I said, could you tell me what you understand about infection control principles? She goes, I don't touch any of that funny stuff.